Okay, it's 6 AM. We're at the 9 Mile Ride where the shops are, and I haven't had to pump up tyre this morning. It's supposed to be rendering. It's raining. Lovely day for it. Happy Christmas. So yeah, it's Thursday, the Thursday before Christmas, and we're back at the Finch job, and we've got some rendering to do, but it's raining quite unpleasantly at the moment, but apparently it's supposed to stop in 5 minutes, so it's going to give us a chance to get some rendering on. But yeah, it's not nice out there. It's cold and it's dark. That's Jasper, the Emperor, leaving. And then coming back again. What is he doing? Oh, he's forgotten something. So yeah, just gonna wait for this rain to stop. It's Thursday before Christmas, and I'm a bit disgruntled this morning because all the petrol stations are shut. They seem to be shutting. They don't get in here for 6 o'clock, you know. Maybe they're opening 4-6. I'm gonna get a cup of coffee anywhere. I went to the one across the road from me. I went up to one in Crowthorne. They was both shut. Luckily, well, you saw me earlier at the corner shop. They had coffee, but it's powdered milk. It's not the same. £2 though. It's horrible coffee. So yeah, we're going to crack on in a minute. Right, when it stops raining and the light comes, we'll get in there and show you what we're doing. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, lots of talking again. There's not much else to do right at the moment until the rain seems to be stopping. Just need a bit of sunlight, that'd be nice. Whilst we're here, don't forget to come over to the Facebook page, the Facebook group, Plaster Master Smurf 74, and then also another group that I'm on, and I've noticed a few regular viewers here or regularly commenting are over on another group for plasterers called Plasterers Banter. And in my experience, I've been on there a little while now. It's quite a nice group, to be honest with you. A lot better than another one I can mention, quite a big one. There's not so many nice people on there, I would say. It's a bit more of a argument sort of thing. But yeah, have a look at the rules on Plasterers Banter. They're quite amusing, and everybody seems really nice there, and they're letting me post videos up there as well every now and again. But I don't want to, you know, go crazy and just spam their group up. But yeah, have a look over there. I'm on there. It's a good place. And also I noticed Tony F Moniz, is it Moniz? He's got a group going, All Phases Plastering, and I've been over there because I noticed he was on Plasterers Banter as well. And I haven't seen him for a while, but you know, I've been online and stuff, and I saw he was doing his stuff again, smoking his cigars and that. So yeah, I went over and joined his group and had a little bit of a chat with him. So yeah, have a look at that as well. So yeah, lots of things to be getting on with. So here we are. This is our working environment for today. All we got to do is get this rendered up in preparation for the silicone top coat. So yeah, it's just a bit awkward and wet and dark at the moment. Just got to get this window beaded up. Using these things, I'm going to stick them. Then we need to cover. I've trimmed the fluff down on them so they come like that. The gauze on the side of them, so those two are there ready. I'm going to get the top one on, get that nice and level with the window frame before I tape the window up, because one thing that throws your eye off, let's see, they've got this protective tape on the window frames already, but look how it's like wonky. So when you do tape up these windows and then like you try to bead up afterwards, you might not notice if anything's out at all. So you know, I do like to bead up when I can still see what the frame is doing, because like this is what throws your eye off. See how it's snaking up and down, so you try to cast your eye down there and see if it's in line with the profile of the frame, or up here you try and eye it in, and because that sticker's waving around, it makes it really tricky. So you tape the whole window up and then you can't even see the frame, makes it even harder still. So let's get the beads up and then cover the window right up. So we got the window taped up. We've used this drop down stuff. When I ever to start talking about, oh, here it is, look. So if you've not seen it before, this is it, and you can get it in various sizes. This is the shorter stuff because that's a short window. So look, as you can see, I mean, I'm gonna have to trim it off. It's got this bit of tape, and you obviously unwind that, stick that across your window, and then trim it with a decent pair of snips or some scissors, and then you unravel the thing and it drops down as it suggests, and that's why we call it the drop down stuff. So probably not so bad for the rendering, but this is going to be siliconed, and these window frames are black and the silicone is white pretty much, and you really don't want to get the silicone on anything because it really sticks. So that's why we've gone to town underneath and everything to make sure that's properly taped up. Now this is, I believe it's a PVC tape, so it's like gaffer tape in the sense that you can still bite it with your teeth, but it's not quite as aggressive, and it doesn't stick quite so hard as gaffer tape does. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. It's a good alternative. So with the render coats, the exterior products, there's so much of it out there now. I mean, it used to just be sand and cement, and then you had your additives like SBR, integral waterproofers, and you use a combination of plastering sand. Some people used to like to put a bit of soft sand in it, and like you say. But now you've got all these different products, and to be honest with you, I'm a little bit lost with them. I don't know what they all do. I mean, I like the OCRs, the one-coat renders. This is the stuff that I've been given to do it. It's called ms20 by Fassa botolo. Sounds like an opera singer, doesn't he? So, and we got some of this green stuff as well. But apparently this takes quite a long time to pick up. I don't know what the name of it is. What number is it? EWI 225. But apparently that hangs around for a lot longer, but it goes off hard. You should mix some of that with it if you need to slow it down a little bit, which is probably one of the good things. I mean, given the choice, I'm not a big fan of the silicone renders. It's probably one of the better ones, but I prefer just a regular render that's painted. It's a lot less hassle and stuff. But yeah, the good thing about these products is the waiting around, because waiting for it to go off, because with the sand cement, just regular sand cement, sometimes I wasn't so bad for the scratch coat, but when you put the top coat on, quite often in low temperatures you will be waiting and then it will be hanging and it won't go off. So that, using these products seems to be a bit of a thing of the past. So they're really good because you do get pretty much a guaranteed setting time. Okay, so as you can see, it's a bit shadowy down here. We've suddenly got some sunlight, which is nice. We've put on, that's pretty much, it's about 6 bags. We've got much left in there. Yeah, 6 bags. It's going to take about 9 bags of that Fassa stuff to get across this whole flank, which is pretty much, yeah, well, it's the whole length of the house, depth of it. This is still quite wet. I probably forgot to mention the scratch coat, I think, was the EWI. So what we're doing is we're ruling this, and if you're not that experienced and you have trouble with ruling off, because it can be quite a difficult skill to pick up to start off with, this here is what I call a derby. You can get it, it has a couple of little handles that go down this, but you take it off the handles and then you can use this as a very short rule, and because it's smaller, okay, you can get used to ruling things off. And also that you can close. So we've got holes here, look, there's a hole here, so you can either get your Hawk and Crown filters up, or if you want to be really clever, see where it's on there, you can try and squeeze that in with the rule and catch it that way. Now, like I say, if you're not that confident with ruling stuff off, do start with one of these. Then once you get it in a basic shape, then you can switch to something a bit bigger. Okay, because then it'll be a lot easier. And one of the worst things you do is take too much off too quickly. Okay, just nice and gently find where the high points are, and then fill the low points. So there you go. It's one of those you have to kind of pick up. You can't really tell somebody how to do it. You have to learn with experience. But that's probably a good way to start doing it. And like I say, the key thing is, see newcomers do it, they whack on loads of gear, they open the rule up, great big rule straight away, open it right up at a big edge like this, 90 degrees, and just take it all back off again. Don't do that. Just be nice and gentle with it to start off with. Okay, and just see where the top parts are, see where the little holes are, fill the holes, and then have another little rule off. Like I say, the temperatures are really low, and that EWI, if that's what it is we're going over, is really retaining the moisture, stopping any suction going on. So we're going to be have this all on before. We're going to have to look at, yeah, still sopping wet down where we started. So yeah, we're just going to crack on. So here we go. Look, this is the finished product that goes on there. This is the silicone finish. Okay, now this has had to be done earlier in the job, and they've put this equipment in. They've had to drill holes, and look, it's starting to stain up already where people are working around it. There's little marks on it all over the place, you know, and they boast it's not, you don't have to paint it. I think you can get paint for these days, but it's just too textured for my liking. There's too many little pit holes and stuff for bits of pollen and dirt to catch hold of, which it has done. I mean, this is just a few weeks old. I mean, it's probably a bad example because there's no guttering on there, so the water's running off, hitting the mud, splashing, and it's splashing the dirt up. But look how it's catching the dirt, you know. If that was an exterior paint, don't worry about that. That's nothing to do with me. That's failed where water got on it. That needs to be redone again. So yeah, it's, you know, if it's an exterior paint, it tends to seal it up a little bit more, and dirt tends to wash off it, and it stays cleaner for longer, in my opinion. And then if it does need freshening up, you just give it a paint again. So yeah, I like the idea of having the mesh in the undercoats and in the under render before you do all this. I think that's a really good idea. But the top coats that don't need painting, like the monocoushes, these render finishes. If it was my choice, if it was my house, I wouldn't have them. I'd just have the render and just paint it, you know. But you know, it's what they want. So there you go. Okay, so we're all on. I think it was about 9 bags, pretty much. Going over the scratch coat, it's still really holding back quite a lot. Right, if I come right back to the beginning, so there's not much I can do really. Just let it pick up a bit. I have taken the time just to run over it again with the Derby, because it was I first of all, I got it in I find a roundabout sort of nice shape when it was still quite really wet. Again, if you're not that used to rolling stuff up, you might be better off letting it pick up a little bit. So that's what we have done, and I've gone back over it again, and you can see it's much more of a teary sort of action. You can see like here there's a mist there, but you know what, it's so minor there. So this is the sort of thing that you pick up on. So when you run your rule over, you can see where the rule's touching here, you can see where the rule's touching there, but just that little strip, just tiny little bit behind, but it's so minimal there, I don't need to fill that because I'm going to get that with the float. So yeah, we've got the 2 beads to go off there, so that's really easy to get it nice and flat and stuff. But yeah, I guess it's a cup of tea time and wait for this to pick up. We've got some other prep to do around the job, so we'll do that and just keep our eye on this and come and do the other stages that need to be done when they are ready to be done. And just coming back to this, it's still really quite wet. It's too wet to do anything with. You're just gonna have to let this pick up. Like I say, I don't know if it's because this is so cured, it was done quite a while ago. As you can see, if you do not know, like the mesh is what goes on. You put a tight coat of this stuff on, push the mesh into it, which comes in big sheets. You can see it's here, look, behind the window, because it was just when it got done. and then you put the scratch coat in. But yeah, this was done quite some time ago, so I don't know if it's the fact that that's really cured and being waterproof or whatever now that's making this top coat really hang about. Now that I did not enjoy it at all today. I'm losing light really badly. I was giving it the big one, saying you don't have to worry about setting times. Yeah, this is hung all day. So earlier I was giving it the big one about how with these bagged renders, you don't have to worry about setting times, it goes off. This is hung all day long. The specification was for me to get this rubbed up with the magic sponge. It's not going to take it. I've had to take the 20-inch trowel to it. So what I did, I had to switch to, well, I couldn't touch it for ages because I had a big sponge float on there and it was still too wet. The sponge float was pulling it off the wall. You just had to leave it alone. There was nothing I could do with it at all. And unfortunately, right close towards the end, it started just to pick up enough that I could just about get a sponge to it. A sponge float, you know, the rubber ones that I'm always going on about as well. And then Jasper wanted me to use a magic sponge or a traditional sponge to try and buff this up, but that is not happening. This is still sopping wet. Look at it, look at the shine on that. If I put my finger on it, it's really wet. What I'm about to do is take my 20-inch trowel. Lucky I got that. Take my 20-inch trowel, so I've sponged it. And of course you need to throw water at it to sponge it and buff it up just like a regular float, which has brought all the moisture back to it. And the only thing I could do was trowel it up with the trowel, which is going to be fine because it's going to have the silicone on it. Well, if I was supposed to be bringing this up to a normal render, I'd be in big trouble. I'm losing light. Yeah, it's taking forever. So I would be interested in what people with more experience with these particular products, because this really isn't my sort of bag. I've used the OCRs before, and I'm pretty sure I've used the ms20 before when the temperatures were in double figures, but the temperature today was about 6 degrees at the best, and it has been freezing all day. We've been freezing. So yeah, I think it was the EWI stuff, which was the scratch coat, and it's been scratched back in the summer, so it's been left for a long time. And we've put this on. This is the Fassa botolo ms20, and we put it on as soon as it got light, and it's just hung all day long. I used it a really stiff amount just to stick up these beads before we did anything, and there is still movement in the bead, and that was the very first thing I put on. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll be interested in the comments. Anybody that's got more experience with those particular products, yeah, put it in the comments and let us know what you think about them. All right guys, I'm going to get wrapped up here. I think I've had enough for today. I'm freezing, the toes are freezing. I've got to cook dinner tonight, and like I say, I'm losing the light. Got to get tidied up and get out of there. So that will probably be the end of this video, I think, for today. So yeah, thanks for watching. We are back here again tomorrow, and we are putting silicone on the flank upstairs, and we've got some windows, some dormer windows, the fronts of them to do. So might see if we can record that as well. Well guys, have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow, more than likely. Right, take it easy.